How you doing, guys? Dragon Man here, and today I'm going to show you what to do when you get your rebuild your own motor back. Okay? If you don't know about the rebuild your own motor for $1,200, this is what we do. We do the whole lower end, parts, labor, bearings, crank pin, balancing, glass beading, go through the oil pump. Okay, we bore out the cylinders, the neck sides with cast pistons. If it's a panhead or a shovel head, 8.5 to 1 pistons. We give you Hastings rings, the best rings you could buy. I do the heads complete. We glass bead them, 2-angle valve jobs, sometimes 3 angles. We give you Amco guides, Teflon seals, stainless steel nitrated valves. I set the spring tension to 175 pounds valve, the seat pressure, and we send you a complete gasket set. See? And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a couple of tips how to put it back together the right way. Okay, this guy's job was $85 more because he had me rebuild the rockers. Look how nice that comes out. Hey, new bushings, all resurfaced, glass beaded, shimmered up, and I'm going to throw in some new chrome bolts too. Okay, so let me give you some tips. Okay, so the first thing you do when you get it home is you unpack everything, you lay it out on your workbench, and the first thing you really got to do is put the pistons on. Okay, so over here, this really doesn't matter which way it goes. See, there's a cast mark. Some people put that opposite the spark plug. Some people put it lined up with the spark plug. It really doesn't matter. What matters, if you have pistons, high compression pistons, and one has a bigger fly cut on the top than the other, that's always the intake. The big fly cut is the intake. Okay, so the first thing you do, since it's the winter, is you warm these up. Either you put them on a stove, you heat them up with a Bunsen burner, and it expands the casting here. And you take your wrist pin here, and you get it started in here. See, like that. That's what I do. And then I put it in the vise here. And this is a little hard for a lot of people that are doing this for the first time. This is called the spur lock ring. Okay, you take the spur lock ring, it's almost like a spring, and this is the way I do it. See, I open it up. See with my finger there? See, it's opened up? Okay, and you get it in the groove. You get it started in the groove. Okay, I'm really not going to put this in because I don't want to take it out. See, I got it started in the groove. Okay, then you take a little ice pick here, and you get it started, and what you do is you wind it around. See it? And it clicks right in there. Okay? Once these are in, they're staying in. They really don't pop out. In fact, if you want to take this back out, it's really hard. Okay? So those are the best things you could, best way to put the spur lock rings in. Okay, now, since you have one side in there, okay, now you take your piston here, and you tap the pin just so it's starting to come out of the other side here. You see that? It just started to come out. See that? Okay. We get it started, see, on the connecting rod here. See, like that. I'm not going to push this all the way in. I just want to show you how it's done. Okay, so you get that, you push it all the way in, and let's say it's all the way in now, right? Okay, the next step is put the rings on. Hastings rings, they're all marked. Top, second, and third. Okay, the top goes on the very top ring. This is the second ring. See, it's marked second. So let's take one of those out. And you don't really need a ring expander. You could do it with your fingers. If there's any chamfer inside the ring, it always faces up. If there's any marks, dots on the ring, it always faces up. This one's the second rings. Most of them are square. Okay, take both fingers like that. See, we're going to put it on. You just spread it a little bit, not a lot, or else it's going to break. See, and it goes right on there. See that? Okay, that's the way you put the ring on. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, now when you put your ring compressor on, see the openings, the gaps here? Okay, it's got to be over the wrist pin. One left, one right. You don't line up all the gaps or else you're going to lose all the compression. Okay, so we got that done. Okay, now when you put the other spur lock ring in the other side, okay, I recommend you put some rags around here. See the lower end like that? And you know why? Because let's say the spur lock ring drops and it comes out of your finger, it's going to end up down in the lower end, and then you're going to get a magnet and try to find the thing, and it just takes more time. Okay, so that's the way you put the lock rings in. Okay, now when you put your cylinder on, okay, this is what you got to do. You take the back of a hammer here, you put it right here, and you rotate the flywheels, see, until the piston touches the back of the hammer. See, like that? It's already locked. Okay, then you take your ring compressor. This is called the ring compressor. See that? And that goes around here like that. See, and you squeeze it. It's good to have two people when you do this. Okay, so one guy's going to hold this, and another guy is going to take the cylinder. See? And see the cylinders have little notches here that always faces each other. Okay, let's say the ring compressor is on. This goes on the top there like that. And what I do, is I take a rubber hammer sideways like this, because you don't want to hit the fins, and you just tap it down. And it's good to put oil on everything before you put the barrel on. When you get these back, see, these are sandblasted, glass beaded, and all the loose paint comes off. They have to be repainted. So I recommend wrinkle finish, heat-proof wrinkle finish paint. So it's good to paint it when you get it home, because if I paint it in the shop here and pack it up, a lot of the paint's going to rub off. So we always tell people to paint it when you get it home. You could put these in the oven, or you could heat them up with a torch or a Bunsen burner. It's got to be at least 75, 95 degrees before you spray it. Okay, so we got the cylinder on, let's say, right? Okay, now you take the head and the valve covers. Now most people put the gasket on there. In fact, we use a copper spray gasket sealer. That works out really good. Okay, most guys put the gasket on and then they take this and try to get it going on top. Okay, but it hangs up. Here, see the rockers here? They're hanging down. Here, see the rockers are hanging down? That's going to hit the spring collars and you won't be able to get it down. Okay, the way I do it, push the rockers down, take the head and turn the head upside down, and then put it down on this way. So like that. And this way it'll go right on. Okay, next you got to put the head on the cylinder. Okay, it comes with these gaskets, Teflon coated gaskets. When the motor gets hot, you have to retorque the heads, because these are going to melt, and they're going to make a good seal between the head and the cylinder. Okay, the torque specifications on the panhead, shovelhead, and knucklehead are 65 pounds. Okay, so you take a 9/16 swivel socket, see, like that. You put that under there. After you get the nut all the way up, there's 5 on each cylinder, and you torque it to 65 pounds. So when you torque it, you go one opposite each other. So you're not pulling one side down more than the other side. Okay, if you don't have a torque wrench, okay, this is a starter wrench Snap-on makes. See that? 9/16 starter wrench. And if you put that under there and pull these, common sense, not really tight, that comes out to around 60-65 pounds. You have to remember, when the motor starts, it has to be retorqued, because the gaskets are compressing. If you don't do that, it could blow a head gasket. Okay, now you got the cylinder on, you got the head on. Okay, next you got to put the push rods in. Okay, this is the biggest problem I have with guys adjusting the push rods. These are hydraulic push rods. See that? Now, if you read the Harley-Davidson manual, okay, what it says is you put that in the lifter. This is called the lifter. See that? This goes in here, right? Okay, and they say adjust it so that the push rod spins and then go 4 turns. The book doesn't say you're not supposed to have any oil in here. Now, if you have oil in here, this is going to be hard as a rock. So if you go 4 turns and this isn't compressing, what's going to happen is when you turn the motor over to do the next push rod, the valves are going to hit each other. And one valve touches the other and it bends the lip. That's the biggest problem I have with these guys putting these motors together. Okay? Now what I do, I don't let the motor bleed itself, get oil in the lifters, I put the oil in the lifter before I put it in the motor. Okay, this is the way you do that. You take like a little welding rod or baling wire, you push that in there, okay, and you push this down. Look at the oil coming out. See the oil coming out? Okay, so you hold that down as tight as you can, you put it in the oil, and let it up easy. Okay, that's putting oil in the lifter. Okay, we could do that again. See, the oil comes out, see, like that. You hold it down, put it in the oil, let it up. Okay, do it a couple of times, this way it gets the air bubbles out of there. This is hard as a rock now. Now you take this and put it in the lifter, see, like that. Now you don't have to worry about going 4 turns. You adjust it so it just spins with a slight drag. I've been doing it that way for over 50 years, so it definitely works. Okay, so that's a tip with that. If you don't want to use hydraulic lifters, here, they have these adapters they sell. See that? Or I could sell them to you. See, they go in here and eliminate the hydraulic lifter. Now on the push rods, normally all the time there's one longer than the other. See that? One's longer than the other. Okay, that's always the front exhaust. That goes there because that's the longest travel space. Okay? And then sometimes there's 2 short ones. The 2 short ones go for the intake, and then the next longest one is the rear exhaust. See that? And that's the way you do that. Now, if you have an Evolution motor, these are the Evolution lifters. Now, there's a little hole here. There's no hole on the other side. These have to be facing each other when they're in the lifter block. That's the way they get oil. Okay, now this is the way I adjust them. Everybody has different ways of adjusting them, but this is the way Dragon Man adjusts them, and that's the right way. I'm always kidding around. Okay, so anyway, let's say this is an Evolution. The lifter's in there already, right? Okay, this is what I do. Okay, you take a little marker here, see, and you put a line right down there. Yeah, see, like that? Okay. Okay, then you put your pushrod tube on there, you put that in there, you put that on the lifter, right? But before you do all that, you have to make sure the lifter is at the bottom of the cam lobe. Okay, you have to turn the motor over so the lifter is on the bottom of the cam lobe. Okay. Now if you turn the motor over, you'll see the lifters go up and down, right? So when the lifter goes all the way down, you see that? That one's all the way down. That's when you adjust the push rod. You have to do each one separate. Okay, now you get the 2 7/16 wrenches. Okay, you get that so it just spins. See, with a slight drag. Okay, see the mark I made? Okay, you hold the push rod and you go 4 more turns. I say 3. Let's say 3. We don't want to... 4 is taking a chance. Okay, 1, 2, 3. A lot of guys go 4, but I'd rather just do 3. Okay, now the push rod isn't going to move. It's like jammed in there. You have to walk away for 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, then the lifter bleeds itself. And when you come back after 5 minutes, this is going to spin, right? Then you turn the motor over and you go to the next one, right? Okay, in an Evolution, they have 2 long ones and 2 short ones. You see that? Okay, the 2 long ones are the exhaust, the 2 short ones are the intake. Okay, guys. Okay, so you got the lifters in there now. You got the push rods. Another tip is, you know, there's these base gaskets. There's a front one and a rear one. Okay, this is the front one. See? And this is the rear one. See, it actually goes just like that. See, it's got a bigger piece of the gasket in the back there. Okay, everything should be sprayed, and everything should be coated with lubricating oil. Okay? Motors love oil, and so do guns. The more oil you use, the better it's going to be. So I just coat everything, see, with the lube oil, see, like that. And this way when it starts, you know, when the motor starts, it's going to take a few minutes for it to get oil pressure. Yeah, see that? Look how nice. Yeah, look at that. Look at that's a perfect boring job. See that? 1.5 to 2,000 clearance. Okay, that's another thing real fast I want to tell you. Okay, This is the intake, that's the outlet, and that's the breather. Okay, a lot of guys call me, oh, my motor's been running for 2.5, 3 minutes, there's no oil pressure. What you have to do before you hook up your line from the bottom of the oil tank, you have to prime your oil pump. Okay, this is the way you prime the oil pump. You take an oil can, have somebody keep turning the motor over, see, and keep squirting oil in here. And that's called priming the oil pump. Anything you guys want to know after I do work for you, I'd like you to call me up before you make a mistake. Everything I do is perfect, but it's up to you guys to assemble the whole thing, the rest of it perfect, and the whole job will be perfect. I have guys I did motors for 30, 40 years ago, and they're still on the road. Okay, guys, I hope all those tips helped you. Any questions, give me a call, 719-683-2200. Have a great day.